Zach's not here, so we are back, episode 105 of the BSG podcast. This is the U.S. Open special episode. The boys have done our research this week, and we're going to come to you and talk to you about the U.S. Open. I saw this on the No Laying Up pod, and I was like, you know what, we're going to do it on ours. Before we jump into today, I'm going to give you a rundown of what's happening today on the show. We're going to got a little bit of history about Pinehurst Number 2 throughout the years. Then from there, we're going to talk about the U.S. Open in 2024, some big tourney. We got some of the odds and the favorites to win. Then we got a little bit about the LPGA Solheim Cup, and then we're going to go into our picks. So that's what the show's going to look like today. But first, Brady's going to tell you about our sponsor over at Moon Golf.
Guys, this episode is presented by Moon Golf. We love and trust Moon Golf with all of our heart's desire. We go down there and check out all the new equipment as soon as it comes in the door. Everyone's always very excited, very happy to see us as well. And they're going to be just as excited to see you. They want to see new faces in their stores. They want to see new golfers. They love working with new golfers. They love getting new golfers into the right equipment. They're not going to sell you trash. They don't even have trash in their store. Like as soon as they take the wrapper off of something and throw it away, they immediately take it outside. Like it's that level of good excellence in there. Like that excellence. That's what I'm looking for. So yeah, go down there. They're very trusted by us. We recommend them every week. If you literally haven't checked out their store yet, I don't know why. I don't know what you're doing. So.
Go check them out. Did you see they posted they have that TaylorMade bag in the store for the U.S. Open?
Yeah, the big one. Like,
yeah.
You know, I've always wondered who buys those. Like, they're really cool, but like to have something like that at a golf course, you know, people might look at you funny.
It's got to be just to have them like somebody has a man cave or something.
Yeah.
Like, I have a goal in life is to be rich enough to buy the staff bag every time it comes out for a major, because that'd be sick if you had them all. But they're like $1,500, ain't they? Usually.
You know, I don't know if it's that much, but I know they're probably at least double what like a normal like cart bag is. Like I was thinking like $600 to $800, but I really don't know. I have no idea.
We'll have to check it out. It would be cool to have a year's worth of majors bags in your like man cave or garage or something.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to jump into it. This is all about the U.S. Open today. If you're new to golf or if you love golf, you know this week is the U.S. Open, and it's being held at a historic golf course that we were lucky enough to go visit back in October of last year. We stayed in the area. We went and hung out on the putting green and walked around and stood at 18 green at number 2 and kind of just thought about how it's all going to come down to that green. So we have an idea of this course. We've only seen like one tee box and 18 green. That's about as far as we know of number 2. But this actually read an article today, which I'm glad you put this up. It was all about the history of Pinehurst. And so Brady's got some stuff here that we'll kind of talk through for the last 3 times that the U.S. Open was held here at Pinehurst.
Yeah, to kick it off, you know, I kind of got a lot of this information. I didn't really go back and look at much, but what I did do, NLU did a deep dive last week of the last 3 majors, U.S. Opens that were held at Pinehurst Number 2, and just kind of like going off of memory of stuff that they said that were like highlights of what happened during those years, and a lot of cool stuff. The first time the U.S. Open was at Pinehurst Number 2 was in 1999. This was probably like one of the biggest tests of this golf course back, you know, nobody had really – it had never held a major of that caliber before. On Sunday, Payne Stewart held on to victory by 1 stroke. He had Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods, I mean, 2 of the biggest names in modern golf, nipping at his heels the entire week, honestly. Phil – his wife was actually pregnant with their first child during the event, and he had his caddy Bones wear a beeper or a pager. I don't really know what they were called.
Oh, yeah.
Not before my time. Had those attached to him and told him, like, if he gets a call from his wife, like, he's immediately leaving the golf course no matter what position he's in. If it's on like uh, coming down to the last hole, which I want to have another question, like revisit that later to
Yeah,
see get
that'd
something
be
out of
tough.
that.
That'd be
Yeah,
tough. Which
Phil was certain. Go
that's where
ahead.
we get the historic statue of Payne Stewart from
Yeah,
that
that's
year.
right. That's right. Which they moved. Did you see that video of them
Yeah,
moving that
that's
statue?
wild. They moved it, I guess, to the front when you're pulling in.
Well,
Um,
I heard that it on the Foreplay podcast today that it's actually near the I think the somewhere on number one.
okay,
I
so they
don't know
just
where
kind of
that's at,
slid it
but
over because they keep it behind 18 green at the clubhouse, which is really cool. What we noticed when we were there is that the back of the clubhouse has like a little seating area um, where people kind of eat and hang out, and that overlooks 18 green. So if you're there just visiting Pinehurst and playing, and you're coming up on 18, people are watching your approach shot into 18, and that's where the statue sits.
yeah, and very intimidating with like that big porch right there.
Yeah.
If like we didn't get to play it obviously, but I would be shaking in my shoes
Oh, I know.
to be coming down that fairway.
The group we watched, when we stood back there and watched that group, they didn't do too hot coming into that. There's like a
Yeah,
guy in the bunker, and he's like 2, 3 putted. But the amount of people that are around, because right around the corner from that green is like the this'll do putting green and the cradle, and there's people everywhere, and they're
yeah,
watching you because that's number 2, that's the historic course, and so they're looking at you. But that's where that statue normally sits, and this is the year we get it. Um, which sometimes, like when I saw the picture today of Payne Stewart, and I see him wearing the outfit he's wearing, my mind was like, oh, that's definitely like in the 80s. And then I read about how he was beating Phil and Tiger. I was like, oh my gosh, that's
yeah.
just the 90s.
The next time Pinehurst number two held the U.S. Open was in 2005. Retief Goosen led the 2005 U.S. Open after the third round. Michael Campbell was 4 shots back of the lead on Sunday and watched as the leaders in front of him disappeared. Goosen would go on to shoot an 81 on the final day, blowing his chances of even a top 20.
Oh, wow.
Campbell stayed steady and held Tiger Woods to his 2-stroke advantage to win the tournament.
This next one is the most recent one that I remember about Pinehurst number 2 with
Yeah,
Martin Keimer and stuff.
that was so yeah, Martin Keimer went wire to wire, led the entire thing in 2014. Ricky was in second most of the time. I think he finished in second.
He did.
A lot of people were rooting for Ricky. He paid like homage to Payne Stewart by kind of wearing his fit one of the days with a new like orange Cobra or Puma, style stuff. Uh, but Keimer used his putter most of like around the greens a lot. I think they said he didn't use a wedge like the entire tournament.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah, those areas around the greens were just shaved down like really tight, so he was able to just put everything. And this was the first time players saw the course since the restoration that Bill Coore and Ben Crenshaw did.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which is when they brought the wiregrass back and the native like bunkering, the waste bunkers and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. I saw videos, which I think a lot of people are probably going to see them come out from like 99 and 2005. The course was like very, very manicured. It had like an Augusta National feel. Like it felt like they were trying to compete a little bit. Augusta
Yeah.
might have been rubbing off on them. So it was cool to see like them bring back more of like a traditional style.
Yeah, I actually read an article today about everybody talks about Pinehurst. They talk about the turtleback greens, and a lot of people, some people were like half saying it's a myth that Donald Ross designed it to be like that, and it was more like the sand that got layered up or something like that.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
but when Coore and Crenshaw came in, how they kind of restored it back, and they used the drawings that they still had from him. It was a cool article to read. If I had a way to pin stuff, I'd pin it so that our viewers could read it. But what I was looking up when you're talking is interesting to note for everybody listening. Most PGA Tour events scores are usually like 10 under, 11 under by the end of it. All 3 of these are at Pinehurst number 2. In 1999, the winning score was 1 under. In 2005, the winning score was even par. And in 2014, the winning score was 1 under, and second was 2 over for the whole thing.
Yeah,
Um,
so
yeah, tough.
pretty tough, and that's we're gonna revisit that. What you think the winning score this week will be later in the show.
Yeah, which is going to be interesting because um, this was 2014 was the last time they were here, and since then there's been all these major developments in technology and making golf courses longer, and it's too easy for people. So we'll see, because you don't see many PGA Tour events where second place is over par,
Yeah,
um, and so that means there's probably going to be a pretty high cut. But it'll be interesting to see what the winning score is. But historically, it's averaged at 1 under par right now.
and a lot of people they're pulling for that high score. Like obviously, we saw the PGA Championship at Valhalla
Mm-hmm.
get very like make as many birdies as you can to
Yeah,
compete. And I think a lot of people are just kind of like tired of that. They want to see a challenge for the pros. Like the pros probably love going out there and throwing darts and making birdies, but like we want to see why they're pros. Like
yeah,
we can go in a video game and make all those birdies the same way they can, but like we
yeah.
want to see them play the course like as hard as it can be played, pretty
Which is
much.
going to be interesting to see after each round when they do the post round interviews, how much of it is players complaining about
Yeah,
the course. Because obviously, if you're a pro and you're going out there and you're shooting 2 over on the day, I'm sure you're going to be like, well, this was too hard. And I don't know if you've seen the weather report, but there's not a lot of rain coming in for the week. So it's going to be a pretty
yeah.
dry course, which means the greens are going to be fast. Saw a clip today of, I don't know who it was, but they're putting off the green up and it just came right back down to their feet. I'm thinking we're going to see a lot of that today. I mean, this week.
The
Uh,
before I don't know how many other events they've held before this U.S. Open this year. I think they've had a couple of U.S. AMs there, but the week after the U.S. Open in 2014, they also hosted the Women's U.S. Open, and that was where
mhm.
24-year-old Michelle Wie would win her one and only major title. Big step for the when they had the Women's U.S. Open there.
Yep. A lot of history at Pinehurst number 2. If you're a new listener, if you don't know much about golf, Pinehurst is basically like one of the top golf destinations now. They have, I believe, 12 golf courses, I think. I'm not. Uh,
Including the Cradle. Yeah, I think it's 11. I think it's
yeah.
11, including the Cradle.
And so you can go there, stay on the property, play all these courses. But number 2 is the historic course that they have these major championships at. So that's why Pinehurst is so exciting. It's almost one of those kind of like the Masters in Augusta. You wish that it had a tournament there every year at Pinehurst because it's just so historic. But it was cool for us. Even when we were there in October, they already had merch for sale that said 2024 U.S. Open.
I've got
Uh,
mine. I didn't. I wish I would have bought like a hat I could be wearing.
oh, I
Like
know,
the
yeah,
only thing I bought was a hoodie, and I don't want to be wearing that right
yeah.
now. It's hot in here.
But they've already got stuff. It was crazy to see it. But so big week as we jump into the U.S. Open. Now we're in 2024. That's kind of the history of what got us to where we are today. Real quick, I saw this today. Last week we talked about Adam Scott possibly not getting in, and we kind of talked about should he get it over Tiger. Um, but with Grayson Murray and everything that happened with him and his world rankings they being gone now, Adam Scott was able to get in. So this is now his 92nd consecutive major. And I looked it
Wow.
up because it said he was the second longest streak in men's golf. So today I was looking at it, I was like, well, who's the first longest? And it's Jack
Yeah.
Nicklaus with 146 consecutive majors.
Wow.
That's an insane number. Um, Especially if you average 4 a year. I don't even know what that comes out to. Let me see. That's 36 and a half years of golf not missing a major. That's pretty
Sounds
good.
about right. Yeah.
Yeah. This is also the last chance for golfers to qualify for the Olympic golf competition. This is an Olympic year, and it's the first year, or not the first year, but the year that there's a golf in there. So, as of right now, as it sits, and we'll talk more about Olympic golf as it gets closer to the Olympics, but as it sits, we got Scottie Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Wyndham Clark, and Colin Morikawa going to represent Team USA. Which I'll ask about this. One, are you interested in Olympic golf? And two, do you think it's going to have the same intensity as like the Ryder Cup?
I I like Olympic sports. I like watching it.
Uh huh.
The golf thing, it's pretty new on the Olympic scene. I think like it's only been around like for the past two Olympics,
Mm-hmm.
and I
I
guess
think
it just
so.
really hasn't gotten like that. What would you call it? Like
The hype just isn't built up
gravitas.
yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like people aren't really like, oh, that's something that I want to do. But now that it's getting more frequent, I think people are going to start taking it more serious, like the golf aspect of it. I think I don't know if it'll ever get to be like a Ryder Cup thing, maybe
Yeah.
with all the countries competing, but I don't know. Maybe one day.
I don't know with only four golfers are qualifying, like if it's only a 4 person event, um, I'm not really. I don't think it'd ever get that hype because the Ryder Cup you got a full team of like 8 or whatever it is, even the President's Cup. But then you got if there's just 4 people going, I just feel like it's not get that level of hypeness like you said. So, but this is everybody's last chance. If there's anybody out there that I know it means a lot to Ricky because he has the Olympics tattooed on his arm where he played in it that year.
That's right.
Um, so if anybody wants to get there, they better perform this week. This is their pretty much last chance to qualify for that. Um, with the U.S. Open, everybody's favorite, the odds to win. If you're a gambling person or if you look at the odds, um, Scottie is the favorite at plus 300, meaning if you bet $100 on Scottie to win, I mean, you have to bet $300 to no, it's the plus. It's 100 to 300. That's what it is. It's when they're the
Yeah,
favorite. It's when they're minus. So every $100 you bet, you win $300. That's the
yeah.
safe bet. But then from there, Scotty is plus 300. It jumps to second place at Xander at plus 1100. That's how big of a gap it is. And they got Xander, Rory, Colin, Brooks, and Bryson. Those are to be the favorites. So Scotty, do you think he's going to keep this up? Like, is he going to be able to? It's insane when you think about what he's doing in golf right now.
um, you know, they put out some stats today and last week about like how who was the favorite like course setup wise for the Memorial last week, and
It was
obviously
Scotty,
it was
wasn't it?
Scotty. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Scotty. They put out the data golf thing for the course favorite fit for this week. Guess who it is?
It can't be Scotty. There's no way.
Oh, it's Scotty. Yeah.
Golly. That's just insane how he can keep. I don't know. It's a course that I don't know if what he's done it professionally when he's played here before. But I guess none of that really matters when he's like probably leading right now in GERS. He hits every green, it feels like.
Yeah.
Um, do you think in the next few years, I think overall he will, but within the next like couple years, do you think he completes a Grand Slam?
I think so. You know, he might not get it done this year, but honestly, within the next 3 years, I could see it happening
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree. He's definitely getting it done. Because he right now he's got just two. I mean, he's got one the Masters, but he's won it twice, so he's
Yeah.
still got to get the other three. But this would be a good start for him right here to see. And I do want notable name. Our guy ZB Zach Blair is in the field, and he's plus 5,000. So if you just want to put 100 down on ZB, you'd win $5,000 if he wins it the U.S. Open this week.
That'd be crazy.
Never
Like
count him out.
he better give out some free like Buck Club merch if he does
Yeah.
that.
I think there's even a like for him to be in the top 20. I think his odds were like plus 1,100 or something. So you'd still win $1,100 if you put 100 on him.
Yeah.
Uh, breaking news: just a minute, I guess, a couple hours ago, John Rahm is withdrawn from the U.S. Open, so we won't see him in it. His foot, I guess that infection, he could not get it handled. I don't know. He was none of our picks. None of us picked him to win. He wasn't our favorite.
No.
John Rahm's stock has went down since Live Golf.
Yeah.
That's easy to say.
What I saw what he did at the Masters, 3 months ago, not keen on him anymore.
Yeah.
Like just Live Golf didn't do him well.
That's what I think. I think there's something to say about when you leave the elite competition and just go play over to live, because sometimes live just feels like it's for fun and money. I just don't think he has the competition that he had before. So,
But there are some big hitters coming over. Brooks,
yeah,
Bryson. There's still some guys that's got that mentality to go go at war. When they get in these tournaments.
Bryson is he's he's one of those guys. I would not be shocked if he's picking up the trophy on Sunday.
Yeah.
Um,
you know, he is like favorited for being able to drive the ball really far, obviously,
yep,
and they were kind of thinking like if he just drives the ball further than everybody, gets closer to the greens at Pinehurst, like he can just get on the greens, easier that way.
yeah.
Which there's a lot of trouble around those greens. I guess it depends on what kind of lies he's getting, if he's getting the right bounces and stuff. But
Hmm.
that might be the way to do it.
Yeah, he's one of those that I would not be surprised. And if he's winning the tournament going into Sunday, he better wear the Payne Stewart cap that he's famously known for.
I hope he does it all weekend. Like I don't see
You,
why he shouldn't.
it would be, yeah, I think it would be a good one for him to do it, because this is the tournament with Payne Stewart, and that's
Yeah,
why he started wearing it. Um, I'd be shocked if he doesn't. Honestly, this is kind
me
of
too.
it.
I didn't even
Um,
think about that until you said that though. But I like that.
and so, in a minute, we're gonna go through our official picks for the U.S. Open. But I kind of want to do a little thing, a segment about who would you like to see win, not just who you're picking for points, but who would you like to win, and it'll just shock you if they did. Mitchell's not on here. He said Harry Higgs, which I don't know if you've been keeping up with Harry Higgs. He's had an impressive run on the Corn Ferry Tour the last 3 or 4 weeks. 2 wins, I think, and then a forced
Yeah,
playoff in one of them.
yeah.
Dude's been
If he,
killing it to get here today.
yeah, if he wins one more this season, I think they have like 8 or 9 events left. If he wins one more, he gets automatically back on the PGA Tour. So I
He
mean,
should. He's dominating right now. Do you think that's
yeah,
kind of like when a major league ball player goes down to AAA for assignment, and he's
yeah,
just hitting homers? It's just
yeah.
easy. Do you think
I
there's that big of a skill difference when Harry Higgs goes down to the Corn Ferry?
Yeah, I think well, I'm not gonna say there's a skill difference, but I think there's like a mentality of he's just like used to like trying to go out and shoot as
Competition.
low as he can. Yeah, that kind of competition. I think it's just like never ending for him. So like he's going out there doing the same thing he would normally do on the PGA Tour, and just like some of those guys might not have that skill set yet.
Yeah. So that was the one for him. Zach did. Oh, Zach said Tommy Fleetwood, which was Brady's pick too.
Yeah, I was about to say, me and him were thinking the same page. Like Tommy needs one. He needs I mean, he needs to do well, like on the PGA Tour during the regular season. But
Yeah.
to see him get like a major, I think that would kickstart it for sure.
I, he's one of those that if he won I think everybody would just be happy for him.
Yeah,
And then my pick, who I would like to win, would be Ricky, which he's had a good back in 2014. He should know the course pretty well. I would just love to see Ricky get a major championship here at Pinehurst. And so those are who we want to win. Last thing before we jump into our picks and wrap this up, the LPGA Solheim Cup's coming up in September, just a few months away. Talking about this because Nelly Korda has already clinched her spot on the Cup. I saw that today, and she is leading second place by over 1,100 points. That's how dominant she is right now in the LPGA. Um, I'm really hoping the Solheim Cup gets a lot more attention this year. Um, right now, it's tied 14-14, Europe and USA, and USA is actually winning. The overall record is 7-4-1, which does not. No, that's Nelly's thing. I was like, that don't equal 14-14. Nelly's record is 7-4-1 with 4 appearances. So uh, 10-8 is what America wins. My notes are all messed up. They're leading 10-8 over Europe, but I'm excited about it, especially now that we're covering more LPGA. I'm
yeah.
ready to kind of see the Ryder Cup version like that and get excited about it.
Do you know where it's being held at this year? Because
Yes, at the Robert Trent Jones Golf Club in Gainesville, Virginia.
that's not too far from us. I
Yeah,
mean,
just
like 9 hours, maybe nine,
yeah.
10 hours.
I drove to Virginia one time. I can do it again. I can go watch
Yeah,
go watch it. Um, I thought when I saw Robert Trent Jones and then it said golf club, I said this must be the Robert Trent Jones golf course if
Yeah.
it don't have a second name like Grand National does. Um, but no, that's gonna be cool to watch that. And so Nelly's clinched her spot. It'll be interesting to see who else is on the team. As always, we're rooting for USA. All right, time for us to lock in our picks. This is what we do. We make picks every week, and we have scores based off of them. Kind of seeing where we are right now. The leaderboard is Zach is winning at he's 408 under par. This is based off PGA and LPGA. Brady's second. He's 66 strokes back from there. And then Mitch is third. He's 137 strokes back. And I'm last. I'm 157 strokes back. I'm just trying to catch Mitchell. I'm 20 strokes back. But here's our picks, official picks for the 2024 U.S. Open held at Pinehurst Number 2, defending champion Wyndham Clark. These are the picks we're locking in. Let's run through them. Brady, who do you have?
Gotta go with my guy. I've trusted him a lot.
When we
He's
first started this podcast, this was your guy.
Dude, I'm still on him. I wish I could see him on TV more. He's already a Open champion. I think he's got what it takes to, you know, do it again on the big stage. Give me Cameron Smith.
Cameron Smith. He'll probably be wearing his live golf gear. Everybody seems to wear it but Brooks.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so Mitchell, his pick is Victor Hovland. Zach is taking the favorite Scottie Scheffler. I'm going with the bad guy himself, Brooks Koepka. Uh, he knows what it is in majors, how to perform. I'm a little worried about him at this course, but I think if anything, he'll give me some good points. So those are our picks. Now, who won't make the cut? This was a segment we introduced last week, and we're going to do it again this week. Who's going to be a surprise person that will not make the cut?
Mitchell, he picked Billy Horschel. I think that's probably
Not a surprise to me.
Yeah, not a surprise. Billy's kind of like middle of the road. You never know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He could have a really good weekend. He could have a bad weekend. Zach, did he pick anybody? He doesn't have anybody on
Zach
there.
didn't pick. I said Will Zalatoris, who's actually grouped with Tiger the first 2 days. I wouldn't be surprised if both of them do not make the cut, but Zalatoris is my pick.
I got, his game's been trending down past couple months. So, maybe it's not a big surprise, but he is the defending U.S. Open champion.
Yeah, so it would be a shock.
Yeah. He's I don't know. I don't know what's going on with him right now.
Ever since what was it, TPC Sawgrass, where Scotty beat him on the 18th or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Ever since that tournament, he has not been up at the top of the leaderboard. Before that, he was very similar to Scotty. He was at the top of the leaderboard every week. This week, I've already saw where he did an interview and he's talking about the greens and how fast they were, and kind of not complaining, but making it known
He's
that
scared.
Yeah. Basically, already have an excuse ready for when he does not make the cut. So I wouldn't be surprised if Wyndham did not make it either. But those are who we think. As we jump into LPGA, the Myher, I think that's Myger, whatever, LPGA Classic. This is the 10th anniversary in Belmont, Michigan. Actually returning to the field this week is Lexi Thompson, who won it in 2015. And they believe this is going to be her final appearance on the tour this week in Michigan, so it'll be interesting to see that. Defending champion is Liana Maguire. And so here we go. My pick for this week. Listen, I'm trying to get points. I'm going Nelly Korda. She won it in 2021. 2022, she tied for second. So I got her winning it in 2024.
Zach picked Minjee Lee, which was interesting. I was looking back at the 2014 Women's U.S. Open to see how old Michelle Wie was when she won that, and Minjee Lee was in the field, like playing. I don't know how old she was, but I mean she's pretty young. Like
Yeah.
I don't even know if she's 30 yet. So she would have been like 14 or something like that. 14 or 15.
Which is impressive.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, she's obviously won a couple of majors now, so nothing impressive. If she would, if she went out and did that again, I think that's very doable for her. Mitchell went with Bruning Yin.
Mm-hmm.
Very hot pick lately in our LPGA leaderboard. She always seems to throw up some
Get
good
some
numbers.
points, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm going with the defending champion, Leona Maguire. She's seems like she's always rock steady as well. So
Yeah.
never a bad pick in my mind.
No, I think it's a good pick. So that's our picks for the LPGA event. They don't have many events left, I don't believe, for this season.
Yeah, I think
Um,
so.
they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 events left. And so we'll see. Well, and I was trying to think, man, I wish I remember what No Lane Up talked about today with Nelly in those last day events. But anyways, 8 events left. Those are our picks. Here's what's coming up real quick with the BSG podcast before we get to the drop zone. Just dropped an episode of a graduation series we filmed at Bull Creek East, which is similar to what Buster Jack did, where they get a score from certain tees. That's live on the channel. And upcoming in a few weeks, hopefully on the pod, we're going to have Coach Clenard, Auburn's men's golf coach. We're trying to go to their facility and record and have him on the show there. We're going to be talking about Auburn's championship. My brother, Saturday or this weekend, I saw him and we sat down to dinner, and I looked across the shirt and he's got on a Auburn men's golf championship polo and a hat. And I was like, "Where'd you get that? And why'd you not order me one?" But they're already rocking the gear. I was like, "I got to get me one of those for sure." It was a sick little Auburn polo with the men's championship like embroidered on there. So
I saw they had those. I know they actually posted like they've got the T-shirts and everything like they do for football. They've
yeah,
got those. I guess down there, in Toomer's Corner, go in one of those shops and grab you one.
oh yeah, that'd be sick. I'd love to get me a polo to rock. All right, drop zone. This is where how we end the show. We ask a question, we give an answer, and we'd love to know your answer in the comments. Brady, I'll let you go ahead and ask this one.
So yeah, here we go back to what we talked about at the beginning of the show. I want to know, what will the winning score at Pinehurst Number 2 be? So like, give me your after 4 rounds, what score? Over par, under par,
Ooh,
total number.
man. Part of me wants to say, if there's no rain, I want to say like it's going to be over par, but I think somebody like Bryson's going to come out day 1 or 2 and shoot like 3 or 4 under, and then kind of just shoot par the rest of the weekend. And it's going to finish at, I'm going to say 4 under par.
Okay, I like that number. Like there was a sheet or a list that I saw of the last like 10 U.S. Opens, and I believe there were maybe I'd say the average was probably around 5 under for the last 10 U.S. Opens, the total score. I think somebody's, like you said, is going to come out and kind of maybe obliterate the course one day.
Yeah, and then just even
just
par the rest of the week.
Yeah, they might shoot like 1 under or 2 under, like in another round, but I don't think that it's getting to double digits, so I'm going to say like 9 under. That's what I'm going to go with.
Man, I'd be really impressed.
I think somebody can do it. With the talent level that's out there and the equipment.
I definitely don't think it's going to be like every round somebody shooting big numbers under par. I think it's going to be one of those 1 or 2 good rounds and then just hold on for your life for the next 2.
Yeah.
And so that's our U.S. Open 2024 preview show. Thanks for watching and listening. We'll be back next week to kind of recap the U.S. Open and look forward to more tournaments this season as the PGA Tour is coming to an end in a few weeks. I guess in the fall, but not many events left. We'll be covering it, having more guests on. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time.